Your disruption can be the beginning of greatness. You don't think it will be at the time, but your disruption has the capacity to make you grow. Today we are going to stretch. We're going to talk about what is stretching you, where are your disruptions, and how can you become more resilient through those disruptions. We're going to become rubber band resilient. 1, 2, 3. Potential energy means you are ready to launch.
Well, as a former trainer in merger acquisition for a Fortune 100 company, I saw firsthand the reactions to change. No one loves it, but teams need to be prepared and empowered to handle the disruption, or the organization as a whole is going to suffer.
Today I want to give you some of those next steps. What is resilience? Why do we need it? It's like this poor woman. She gets on a wall, gets herself in a situation, and probably didn't have that next step in mind. Someone came to her rescue. We don't want to have to be rescued through our disruptions or transitions. We should have a few of those next steps in mind.
Disruptive events happen every day. Some are huge and we see them coming. Technology advances, staffing issues, or economic indicators. And some are just small enough to be annoying. But no matter what the disruption is, your team, organization, leaders need to know and understand how to be resilient and to stay energized through the transitions.
What professional issue is stretching you the most right now? Within your profession, within what you show up at the office every day and do, think about that. On a scale of 0 to 10, how stretched do you feel by that?
So I like to talk about stretching during these times and not snapping.
So when we confront a problem, it stretches us. We are stretched and stretched and stretched. I know right now one of you or more is thinking, is she gonna snap that rubber band? No, because it hurts. We don't want to get snapped.
Hello everyone, I just met Parry and her presentation to our annual convention of the New Jersey Society of CPAs was awesome, and I can totally relate to her suggestions and her ways of dealing with stress and disruption in our lives, and she's a phenomenal individual, and I just lived this for the last 2 months of my life, and she's absolutely on point. Go to your community, reach for help, and all your friends will come back to you.
In 2010, David Beckham, world soccer star. Everyone here know David Beckham? Many of you do. 2010, he's in World Cup contention, and he goes down on the field. This is an actual picture of his injury. He goes down with one of the most devastating injuries a soccer player or any athlete can face, a ripped Achilles tendon. These things take about 6 to 12 months to heal from because they're so hard to fix. In 2016, Parry goes down with a torn Achilles tendon. It was not nearly as sexy as David Beckham's injury. I merely tripped at a dark fire pit one night. And then I ignored it for about 2 weeks, which probably made the injury worse. Well, when you go through the surgery, and then you are immobile, you're not allowed to put any weight on that for about 3 weeks. Then you go back to the doctor, and the doctor looks at you, checks you out, and then he writes you a prescription. And the prescription says physical therapy. Anybody here have to? Yeah. And when you show up at physical therapy, they give you one of these, which is really just a giant rubber band. But it's called a resistance band. And that's because in order to build the muscle, sometimes we have to go through some resistance. Some of you may not be building a muscle up, towards disruptive or transitional events because you know it might hurt a little bit. When you go through that physical therapy, it can hurt, but it's a step you have to take. So in this reframing stage, 3 tips to help you become more rubber band resilient. Everything is the bear. Your line cook who didn't show up is the bear. The traffic that you hit on the way to work is the bear. Your mother-in-law is the bear. You name it. We all have those bears. And we are running around with elevated stress all the time. So when we're stressed, we have this cascade of effects of our body not operating at the highest level. Transitions, disruptions, changes, innovation, all of those things have the ability to disrupt us, have the ability to get in our way. But through reacting, reframing, and re-energizing, I hope I've given you the tips that you might need to get through those events.